Hello Facebook modelers. Considering I'm not a great fan of the unboxing videos you tend to see a lot of on the tube, which frankly are a bit boring, I thought I'd break the habit of lunchtime and show you something that arrived today. It's the Irish Railway Models even, Mk2b and C rake. Now, having missed out the first time round on the pre-order, basically I just snoozed. I was happy to get an email from them to say that some more had come into stock when they had their delivery. And so I snapped up a 6-car rake of Northern Ireland Railways Bs and Cs in what's called Bumblebee livery, the intercity livery, the corporate ID. And I have to say that when I opened the box, I was completely blown away by the quality of the models. They're fitted with the correct width, 5'3" gauge B4 bogies, but have extra long axles to accommodate the gap between 16.5mm and the, for those who want to model the correct Irish gauge, the that's better, the Irish gauge track. I have to say these models are absolutely stunning. There's no prism on the windows, as you can see. The paint job is it's just off the scale. And of course they're fitted with interior lighting, and the interiors themselves are correctly detailed. If we go in a bit closer, you'll see that this open first has the correct shaped seats, moulded in the correct colours, and even the walls have a sort of wood effect paint finish. So these coaches are really going to a next level, and when you consider how much they retail at, it does really make these, I think, if these don't get model of the year when they come out, then there's no justice. Now, Scale, as we know, are making the BR liveried versions, and I've got a small fleet of those on order. But you might be thinking, well, what the hell is he doing buying Northern Ireland Railways liveried stock? Well, that's because my second layout, which is going to go underneath the new Wensford layout in the garage, is going to be a terminus to fiddle yard. Now, it's designed to represent an LMS North Wales coastal branch terminus between 1927 and 1934. Lots of ex-London and North Western Railway locos, and that'll be on analogue because they're all kit built. Plus, believe it or not, you could just get away with a little bit of Rule 1, using it as an Irish seaside terminus in circa 1993. When I went across to Ireland on holiday a couple of times, we caught the train a few times, and they still had low quadrant signals, very much like the Great Western signals, a lot of steam age infrastructure, and even had turntables, because the Irish Rail Class 121 diesel is a single-ended American switcher, so they still used turntables when the odd single Class 121 turned up. So I think I can get away with making a layout based that will cover both eras with just a little bit of Rule 1, some black tack, and some 3D printed station name boards. So that's why I wanted a Northern Ireland Railway rake. First time I went to Ireland was to go on the Hunslet Farewell Rail Tour of 1990, and we had it was actually a mixed rake of Bumblebee and grey and blue stripe NIR stock, and what a day out that was. First of all, the brake pipes parted on approach to Russian Lusk, and so we had to take out a coach out the rake, And the poor guard had to use his tie to bandage it to get us to the siding. And then we got as far as Drogheda, only to be parked in the yard because there was a security alert. And the way CIE, or Irish Rail as it had become by then, tested out whether it was a genuine security alert or whether it was a false alarm was to send one of their remaining A-class locos, which were destined to be scrapped, fill it full of Gardaí and Irish Rail people, and just send it out. Now, presumably, if it went bang, then they knew it was a genuine alert. But to be a bit realistic for a minute, by then Irish Rail and the Gardaí had got a very good idea of what's a genuine hoax and what was a genuine and what was a hoax. So we were held up for an hour there. We didn't get to Portrush, but we did get to Derry, and it was a jolly good day out, all told, and it sealed my love of Irish railways. So that's why I'm buying a 6-car rake of NIR stock, and probably will be spending 160 quid with Silver Fox models for their model for a hand-built model of Hunslet, probably 101, which is Eagle, the one that took us up to Derry. So that's why I bought it. And you can just about make out inside it's lit, the interior lighting. And it has magnetic wand on-off switch, and it takes the current from the rails. So I think when the BR versions arrive, they are really going to stand out. So I'm hoping that a Bachmann Mark 1 restaurant car will pass muster alongside these. And I've ordered enough to make up a complete West Coast rake. I know Mark 2Bs are mainly Western region, but you know, confuse me if somebody gives them monkeys. So I've got some Mark 2 Bs and Cs on order to make up a complete rake. But I just thought I'd show you the fantastic details on here. Even the printing, get that out of the way, at the end is pretty good. Getting close, if it doesn't flare out too much. So that's the open first, and this is a TSO, and I've got a suspicion this might be an XBR one, because the seating inside, if I can get close in, has winged headrests, and the ones that were built for the Enterprise didn't have them, if I remember rightly. So this marks it out as an XBR one. As you can see, the walls have been painted in cream, so this must be an ex-Network Southeast coach that had the wood veneer painted over. And the seating detail is fantastic. Again, illumination, and this will give you a good idea of how the BR versions will look when they arrive in the next few weeks. Now, one type of carriage that was unique to Northern Ireland Railways was the sole example of a Mark 2C griddle car. In fact, very few catering vehicles were made of the Mark II type, as we all know, and the majority of them, of the catering cars that did get made, were conversions. So we had the Mark II F first buffets for cross country, and there was another Mark II catering car, which incidentally ended up with Northern Ireland Railways after it was finished, which tested out the APT buffet arrangements. But this is the vehicle that was built for the 1969 Enterprise fleet. And again, it's a fantastic model. Interior lighting again, dining area at one end, kitchen, grill at the other. And it's again another unique example of the Northern Ireland Railways stock. They also acquired an XBR mini buffet, because in the early 80s Northern Ireland Railways wanted to expand the enterprise service from Belfast to Dublin and bought quite a few second-hand Mk2bs and Cs from British Rail. Some were rebuilt to end up in to replace bomb-damaged vehicles in the 80 class and also expand the 2-car units to 3-car units. But a lot went into service as a second enterprise rake, which would variously run with a mini buffet or the APT test air conditioned buffet. Eventually, of course, they were all replaced by the De Dietrich Eurostar-esque push-pull trains, which are still running today. But this is a very distinctive vehicle. As you can see, it's got working lights again. It's got different coloured mouldings to represent the kitchen. You can actually see inside. Well, you can't on this video, but I can see it. You can actually see a stainless steel sink. Let's see if I can get in a bit closer without it flaring. And there you are, a stainless steel sink. And then there's the food prep area and buffet counter. And then you've got first class dining at the other end. Now, one unique type of vehicle, in fact there are two, so they weren't that unique, that was made for Northern Ireland Railways were two driving trailers. One, which is this one, which is a second class vehicle, and one which was a first class vehicle. And the idea was that in the winter, when there were fewer travellers between Belfast and Dublin, a rake would be made up of a driving trailer and 4 other coaches to create a 5-car rake that would then work push-pull with the Class 101 at the other end. In the summer, the rake would be extended and there'd be top and tailed Hunslets, and the system and the train would be worked very much like the ScotRail Class 27s on the Edinburgh-Glasgow route. And so there were 2 driving trailers, again a unique vehicle to Northern Ireland, and eventually these ended up replacing driving trailers that had been damaged in the 80 class. So again, it's another interesting vehicle. It's got all the lights and things on the end and the driving cab. It's literally just a window cut into the end of the coach. Now this one has got the correct Irish style seating inside, which is just a flat headrest rather than the winged headrests of the XBR stock. Again, the livery is fantastic. Now this one, I'm going to have to contact IRM and see what's the matter with it, because it's causing a short, which is why you can't see the lights. I might dismantle it later and see what's the matter. But in all other aspects, it's a fantastic coach. So this will form a 6-car rail tour stroke excursion, and if I get myself Silver Fox Class 101, number 101, wasn't actually still in service in 1993, but who cares? In a little work push pull to Ballynaresk. So there we go. That's the new Northern Ireland Railways Mk2b and C coaches, which I hope will give you a good feel for how the British Rail examples will look when they arrive. According to the email I've had from Accurascale, within the next few weeks, and then it'll be the Mk2cs. So these really do take OO scale coaches to a new level. I mean, when you consider, if I can just reach it, apologies for the wobble cam. When you consider they've actually modelled the winged headrests on the seating. Stop messing about your... I hate camera phones. Can't see it, but you trust me, they're there. Oh, there you are. Anyway, I think these are going to be a whole new level of detail, and let's hope we can persuade IRM stroke Accurascale to go on to make some Mk2ds to replace the ancient Airfix models that Hornby keep chucking out, which were new when I was at secondary school, and I'm now 61. So, you know, you figure how long they've been on the market. It'd be fantastic to get some Mk2ds to this standard. There we go. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of my gum flapping. As I say, I don't normally do unboxing videos, but I made an exception in this case. It's when I opened the box and I looked and I thought, oh my lord, you know, they are outstanding, really. So there you go. Facebook modelers over and out.